Joining me now ahead of his FCC middleweight championship clash, Haider Khan, a big fight coming up, man. How are you feeling just about a week out?
Yeah, all good. Everything's gone well so far. It's a good fight, and I'm excited to get it going next Saturday.
Is there a little bit of added fuel to this camp considering the level and who the opponent is? Obviously, a big step up and not the type of fight that pops around too often.
Yeah, it's one of those fights where it interests me. That's why I took the fight. Obviously, he's been around for a while. He's fought good opponents, and that's why I wanted the fight. I wanted that level up. I wanted to test myself and prove that I'm of that level, or I'm better than that level.
All of the talk is that you're the real deal and you're going to show this next weekend. What would it mean for you to walk out with the FCC middleweight championship over someone like Mick Stanton?
It would be a statement made. I think it would finally. I don't mind being called a prospect, like a lot of people say, that you say. There's hype and there's prospect, but I think you finally shift that mantle from prospect to being the man. That you're the guy in the division now, and that's what I feel like it'll be. It'll be that shift from prospect to no, this guy is the best middleweight in this country.
And obviously, Mick Stanton has fought some of the best, and one of his last wins was over Darren Stewart, a UFC veteran. So it's a top tier matchup. How has your camp been? Has it been smooth sailing? Has it been a smooth camp in preparation for Mick?
It's like every camp, it has its ups and downs. You have days where you're feeling confident, you're on fire, nothing can go wrong. And then some days, you have your down days where things are not going to your best. But overall, it's been one of my best camps. I've put solid work in. I've been with some solid guys, some good body sparring. So it's overall preparation has been very good for this camp. But like any camp, ups and downs. But we got there.
Seems like the whole camp as well was preparing for basically the same dates. Doesn't that help you as well? Just knowing that everyone around you is getting ready for a fight as well.
Oh yeah, the gym's energy was great. We had the boys pushing each other every strength and conditioning session. Everybody's trying to beat each other's numbers. The atmosphere was wild in the mats. Everybody's trying to help each other out, push each other. Obviously, we had a few boys last week win a great showing for the gym, and it's our job now, me and Marlon on this card to keep that rolling over for Aspire.
And obviously, there are quite a few guys on this card, but you're going to be the last one making the walk. Co-main event, middleweight championship, UFC Fight Pass, closing the show for Aspire. What does that slot mean to you on this stage?
Well, it's for me. Since my early career, like you said, being a prospect, I've been pushed on other shows like main evented, co-main evented. But obviously, this is a Fight Pass one, more eyes on us, a bit of a better production, and that's it. Now it's time for me to go out there and show them a real deal in front of these eyes that we've got on us on UFC Fight Pass, and put myself in that shop window for the future and show people that I'm the real deal.
And obviously, if you get a win here, you'd move to 5-0. That would set you up for a big 2023 in a weight class that often you see guys make a jump quicker than others because the fights are a little bit harder to come by. What does in your head a perfect 2023 look like after we're done with the 17th?
Well, the 17th, obviously, when I hopefully get the title, obviously I know FCC are planning to do a show early next year. I'm going to be ready for that. I would like to either defend the belt or I have plans to make a statement on the next show. And then if not, I'm going to stay ready. The UFC is coming to London again, and if there's a pullout, I'll be ready there, ready to go and take a middleweight fight there.
And hey, nothing would be nicer than seeing you step into a stadium, pay-per-view, March, UFC London after a huge win. Hey, over a guy who's gotten some UFC wins on his record, over UFC talent, I should say. But man, you look at your record and speaking with your team, there's no easy fights wanting to be taken by you here. You were originally slated to face David Panfil. Now it moves to Mick Stanton. What were your thoughts on the opponent switch? And are you a little bit happier with the opponent now?
If I'm honest with you, the reason why I want to switch the opponent is when they said David Panfield, and then I think you announced the fight and everything. They later said Mick Stanton, and you said I could take any fight, but you know what is the David Panfield fight just didn't excite me. It wasn't. I didn't feel like it was a risk. I felt like it was a normality. I was meant to win that fight. If I won that was no statement made. I believe I'm meant to beat Mick Stanton, but he's a higher caliber opponent. He's going to test me more. And I believe even if not, I'm going to learn a lot from this fight. And that's why I want to take this fight. The risks are there, and you got to take the risks. and you'll see where your career ends up. But I believe this is the perfect fight for me to prove who I am as a fighter.
Is that one of the things that kind of goes around camp? Because I've spoken with a lot of you guys that plan to get to the higher level of the sport, right? And everyone seems to say we need to fight someone before we get there. Nobody wants to get to the UFC, get washed out 3 times, and walk out. Is it safe to say that regardless of how this one goes, you need this learning experience at this point in your career?
Yeah, of course. I feel like the only way you get better is through these experiences in the cage. You can't just be. You've seen it a few times. The UFC people get thrown in there blindly and they get overwhelmed when they're fighting somebody of a higher caliber, and they get found out pretty quickly at that level. And especially coming from the Aspire camp, as you see, a lot of the boys want tough fights early on because at the end of the day, this career is going to have ups and downs. Anybody, it's going to have wins, it's going to have losses. And so far, it's going well for me, but I plan on winning, but I'm going to learn even in winning. That's my mentality. No matter what, I'm improving myself as a martial artist, as a fighter. Every camp's about developing, and that's what these opponents are going to do to me. They make me put a lot of effort into my camp and a lot of research into what I need to improve on when I'm fighting somebody that caliber. What are they thinking about me? And that's why I believe you got to take these higher level fights because it helps you expose yourself and develop your own game.
And there's nothing like sending a statement in a big step up. I mean, obviously, when you're on social media, you see just about every fighter on the regional scene gets torn down in the comment section saying, "Oh, fight this guy, fight that guy, fight the next." With the win over someone like Mick Stanton, there's not many names they could call for. I do want to ask,
Yeah.
what do you want to say to Mick ahead of the fight? You've got to be grateful. It's not the easiest weight class to get matched up here. You've had
Yeah.
smooth sailing. Mick's been announced for quite some time. What do you got to say to Mick ahead of fight week?
Not really much. I quite respect Mick Stanton. To be fair, he's a very good fighter. He's proven himself durable. He's been around, like you said, good wins against Darren Stewart. You can't disrespect a man like that. You got to go in there respecting everything that he brings to the table. Like Mick Stanton, his fighting style has been very, very similar throughout his whole career. He's never really changed. But what he's good at, he's good at. That's all you can say about Mick Stanton. Really, he is good at what he. If you let him implement his game, it's a long night for you. And my job is to implement my game, my will, and get the better of him. To be honest, and I respect him. He's never taken an easy fight. He's taken risks in his career, and you can't disrespect a man like that. He's always tried to put his best foot forward in the cage, and that's all.
And speaking of taking risks, obviously he's had big fights, but taking a fight against someone with an undefeated record at this point, you've got to take the hats off to him. Do you have any predictions at all, or is this kind of the type of fight that you just go with the flow, take what comes with you, and get your hands raised by any means necessary?
I predict that I can make this fight as easy as I want it to be. In terms of, I think he will have some success. I can't deny that he's going to have moments where I'm going to be in sticky situations, but I'm going to fight through them and show that I'm the real deal. And at the end of the day, I will get the finish. I believe. I believe that finish is going to come in the later rounds because I believe that's where I excel in my conditioning. My speed early on will show, but later on that speed will stay with me, and I'll slowly pick him apart.
Love to hear it. And we got to touch on the teammates because we've got quite a few in action next week, man. How are they pushing? How's Tom? How's Marlon? How's the team going in gym right now?
They're always working hard, them boys. Marlon is obviously this is his I think second pro fight coming up, and obviously everybody knows about Marlon being a top prospect. Same with Tom, top prospect again. Obviously, comes from the Mullen brothers. They're great prospects that we've seen throughout the years. But yeah, they're flying again. They're pushing themselves, and they're well prepared. And I predict that they're going to finish their boys as well. Make easy work of it, them too.
And obviously, FCC 31, we had Liam McCracken. We had a lot of the amateurs on the slate. FCC 32, we've got you, Tom, and Marlon, as we said. Is it safe to say that Aspire's trying to take over all the gold in FCC right now?
Oh, we're trying to take over the gold everywhere. You know what I mean? That's the goal. You got to dominate. And that's it with Aspire. We're a fairly young gym. I think we've only been around for 6-7 years max. And that's it. You saw the dominance on the amateur scene that we had, and now we're transitioning to pro. All those early amateurs are coming to pro, and we're coming to take over that scene as well. but it's going to take some time. But it's been fast so far. So
Father Time is undefeated. And when speaking to someone a bit older, it's tough. But in speaking to the Aspire camp, you're only catching up to where you guys need to be, a couple of years away from some big bodies in some big locations. I got to ask, man, Liam McCracken, rumored to fight in Bellator. How you feel for your opponent? He struggled to get matched. Now you know he might be fighting February in Bellator. How do you feel for your opponent there? Or your teammate there, not your opponent?
Liam's a boy, man. Liam, man, he deserves everything he's going to get. And trust me, he'll be a champ wherever he fights. Just, he's got talent like that I've not seen before. He works hard to go with that talent. And trust me, you got to keep your eyes out for him. It's no secret that he's just good everywhere. You can bang on the feet. You saw him drop his opponent, choke him out. You don't really want to fight with him anywhere.
Haider, thank you so much for joining us, man. We've had this one planned for quite some time. It's been one I've been excited for. Really excited for next weekend. Mick Stanton, Haider Khan, December 17th, UFC Fight Pass, FCC Middleweight Championship. Will we see Haider Khan move to 5-0? Thank you so much, man. Let everyone know where to find you on social media. We'll sign you on off.
No worries. You can just hop up on Instagram and just my name, Haider Khan, and MMA. That's it.
FCC 32, December 17th. Don't miss it. Thanks again, my man.